All right, so you know how sometimes the wildest moments in sports media happen when nobody realizes the cameras are still on? That's exactly what went down today, and I'm still processing it. So here's the setup. Rob Pelinka, the Lakers general manager, was at ESPN headquarters in Bristol for a scheduled SportsCenter interview about the Lakers' offseason direction. This is normal. GMs do media rounds after the season, talking draft plans, free agency, all that corporate front office talk. The interview with Scott Van Pelt was smooth, professional, and honestly pretty uneventful. Pelinka talked about how the sweep at the hands of the Thunder was humbling, how Luka Doncic's hamstring rehab is trending well, and how LeBron James still hasn't made a decision about his future. Standard stuff. But here's where it flips. When the segment wrapped, when the red light was supposed to shut off and the hot mic should have been dead, Pelinka turned to someone off camera, maybe an assistant or another exec, and said something never meant for broadcast. But it went out anyway, because the ESPN Plus audio was still live between segments. And what Rob Pelinka said in that moment has sent the entire NBA into chaos. I've got the clip. I've watched it 17 times, and Laker Nation, you need to sit down and lock in, because this changes everything about the Lakers summer. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick, check before we get into this, that like button is literally the difference between this reaching a few hundred or blowing up to thousands. Takes 1 second, but it seriously pushes the channel forward. So smash that like button right now. It's the easiest support you can give, but honestly the most important one for this content. So smash that like button right now. It's the easiest support you can give, but honestly the most important one for this content. Every like helps push this further, so don't hesitate. Now here's what Pelinka said on the hot mic, and I'm quoting it directly because every single word matters. Listen, the honest thing is complicated. Milwaukee wants too much, but LaMelo is real. Charlotte will deal with him. The trade kicker makes it tricky, but we can work around it. If LeBron walks, that cap space plus the picks, we can build a Luka and LaMelo backcourt that runs this league for the next decade. Call Jeff Schwartz, let's get this moving, bro. Pelinka, the Lakers GM, just accidentally let it slip that the real target is LaMelo Ball from Charlotte, not Giannis Antetokounmpo like everyone assumed. LaMelo Ball, the 24-year-old all-star point guard who averaged 20.1 points and 7.1 assists this season while playing 57 games, had his healthiest year since his second season in the league. The kid from Chino Hills, the Ball family legacy, one of the most electric passers in the league not named Nikola Jokic. And Pelinka said it like it was already done in his head. Charlotte will deal with him. Those 4 words alone are about to shake the entire NBA world. Now let me break down why this actually makes sense, because when I started processing the implications, my brain almost short-circuited. First, LaMelo Ball is from Southern California, born and raised in Chino Hills. The Ball family legacy in Los Angeles is massive. LeVar Ball turned his sons into global brands before LaMelo was even old enough to drive. Lonzo Ball was drafted by the Lakers in 2017, and the Ball family storyline completely dominated LA for 2 straight years. But that was Lonzo. Lonzo was the older brother, the one who wasn't fully ready for the Hollywood spotlight. LaMelo is different. LaMelo has the talent, charisma, social media presence, and game to actually be the face of the Los Angeles Lakers in the post-LeBron era. This isn't just a basketball move. This is a brand move. This is a Showtime move, and Rob Pelinka knows it. Second, the basketball fit is genuinely insane.
Luka Doncic averaged 33.5 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 8.3 assists this season. He's the best offensive engine in the NBA, but here's the problem the Thunder exposed in that playoff sweep. When Luka was out with the hamstring injury, the Lakers had no secondary playmaker, nobody who could generate offense at a high level. Austin Reeves is solid, but he's not a primary creator. LeBron filled that role when he was on the floor, but he's 41 and might not return. LaMelo Ball is one of the most gifted passers in basketball history. His court vision is unreal. He throws passes that look physically impossible. A backcourt of Luka Doncic and LaMelo Ball would be the most creative, chaotic, and entertaining offensive pairing the league has ever seen. The no-look passes, the 30-foot pull-ups, the lobs, the bounce passes, the full-court lasers in transition, Every game would be a highlight reel. Let me tell you something about LaMelo that people don't fully understand, Pelinka continued on the hot mic, and now his tone was more intense. This kid is 6'7" as a point guard. 6'7". He sees over every defender, shoots over switches, rebounds his own position, and he's only 24 years old. Luka is 27. You pair those two, and you're looking at a decade of championship-level basketball. Not 1 year, not a 2-year window, a decade. And in a Western Conference with Wembanyama, SGA, and everyone else rising, you need that kind of timeline. Giannis gives you maybe 3 or 4 years. LaMelo gives you 10. That last part is the most revealing thing Pelinka said. He's thinking long-term. He's not just focused on 2027, he's building the next era of Lakers basketball. And LaMelo Ball at 24, with his talent level and LA roots, is the perfect foundational piece next to Doncic for the foreseeable future. Now here's where it gets financially interesting, and this is where Pelinka's LeBron comment becomes critical. LeBron James is a free agent. If he retires or signs elsewhere, the Lakers suddenly gain massive cap flexibility. LaMelo's contract is around $47 million next season, with 3 more guaranteed years, totaling over $130 million. That's a heavy deal. Plus, he has a 15% trade kicker, meaning Charlotte gets extra cost pressure in any deal. But Pelinka specifically said, the trade kicker makes it tricky, but we can work around it. That means the Lakers front office has already done the cap gymnastics behind the scenes. They've already mapped out a way to make it work, and that pathway almost certainly involves LeBron James not being on the roster. Think about that for a second. The Lakers might be choosing LaMelo Ball over LeBron James, the same franchise LeBron chose in 2018, the same franchise he delivered a championship to in 2020, the same franchise where he rewrote every late career record imaginable. And they might be letting him walk just to pair Luka Doncic with LaMelo Ball. That is the most seismic roster decision in Lakers history since they traded Shaq to Miami, and Pelinka just accidentally revealed it on a hot mic. But the implications go even deeper than that. Charlotte's willingness to deal with LaMelo is rooted in a very real conflict that's been simmering all season. Head coach Charles Lee implemented a deliberate half-court offensive system that clashes with LaMelo's desire to push the pace and play in transition. Reports from Yahoo Sports' Kelly Iko indicated early in the season that LaMelo had grown increasingly frustrated with the organization and was open to a trade. A Western Conference executive told ESPN that Ball is unserious despite his talent. The Hornets front office, with Brandon Miller averaging 20.2 points and rookie sensation Kon Wopel emerging as a legitimate star, has begun building around those two wings rather than Ball. The Hornets finished 44-38 and made the play-in tournament.
They beat the Heat 127-126 in a thrilling overtime game where LaMelo scored 30 points and 10 assists, including the game-winning layup with 4.7 seconds left. But then, they got demolished by the Magic 121-90 in the next play-in game, and their season was over. And that pattern, exciting regular season followed by postseason collapse, has defined LaMelo's entire career in Charlotte. He's never made the actual playoffs, he's never been past the play-in. He's 24 years old with a Rookie of the Year award and an All-Star selection, but 0 playoff wins. Something has to change, and the Lakers represent that change. LaMelo in LA wouldn't just be a basketball transaction, it would be the biggest cultural event in the NBA since LeBron's decision. The Ball family is returning to Hollywood, the Showtime Lakers reborn with a backcourt that averages 50 points and 15 assists combined. The marketing possibilities are endless. Luka and LaMelo, the Slovenian maestro and the California showman. Nike, ESPN, social media, everything would orbit that backcourt. And here's the thing about the Showtime comparison. Pelinka said on the hot mic, now more animated, Magic Johnson was a 6'9" point guard who could do everything. LaMelo is a 6'7" point guard who can do everything. Magic ran the fast break better than anyone. LaMelo runs the fast break better than anyone in today's NBA. You put LaMelo in purple and gold running the break, throwing no-look passes to Luka on the wing, and you have the most entertaining team in basketball. That's not just wins, that's culture.
That's what this franchise is supposed to be. We've been boring. We've been a LeBron carries everyone team for 6 years. It's time to be the Showtime Lakers again. The person Pelinka was talking to asked about the trade package, and Pelinka's response was immediate. Charlotte wants young players and picks. We have Dalton Knecht, we have Bronny, we have a couple of second-year assets, and we have 3 tradable first-rounders. That's not Giannis money, but it's enough to get a deal done if Charlotte is ready to move him. The 15% trade kicker adds about $6 million to the deal, but we can absorb that if LeBron's off the books. This is doable. This isn't a fantasy. This is a realistic, executable trade that could actually go down before the draft.
And that's when the ESPN production team apparently realized the mic was still live because the audio cuts off abruptly, but the damage, or rather the revelation, was already done. The clip spread across social media in minutes. Every NBA reporter immediately started scrambling to confirm it. Within an hour, Charania reported that the Lakers have already had preliminary talks with the Hornets about LaMelo Ball's availability. Laker Nation, listen closely because this is what it means for the franchise. If this trade happens, and based on what Pelinka said, it feels less like if and more like when. The Lakers are shifting from a win-now veteran model to a young superstar pairing built to dominate the West for the next decade. Luka at 27 and LaMelo at 24, surrounded by whatever roster Pelinka constructs with the remaining cap space, becomes a championship core instantly. A core built to compete with Wembanyama and the Spurs, SGA and the Thunder, and whoever else rises. But it also means one thing: LeBron James would be on the way out. And for a franchise that owes so much of its modern identity to him, that's a painful, heavy reality. It also means Austin Reeves could become trade bait just to make the numbers work. It means JJ Redick would have to completely reshape his system around 2 ball-dominant guards who thrive in transition. And it means the Lakers are betting their entire future on a player an NBA executive once called unserious, who hasn't consistently played a full healthy season in his career until this year. Now I need you locked in. Hit the comment section. Should the Lakers actually do this trade for LaMelo Ball? Would you really choose a Luka-LaMelo future over LeBron's return? And is the injury risk too big to ignore? Because this offseason just flipped from a Giannis chase into something nobody saw coming. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, because when this story breaks fully, you're gonna want to be here for it. The Showtime era might be coming back, and I am not ready for how wild this summer is about to get. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay locked in.